This is Hobby Beekeeping. I'm Hank Speck at Wildflower Bee Farm. In this podcast, I'll review what's happening on our farm, talk about different strategies that we can do as we enjoy and love working with our bees. This is Hobby Beekeeping. I'm Hank Speck. Let's get started. Welcome to Hobby Beekeeping. It's June 14th, 2026. Now, if you're watching on YouTube, you can actually do that today because I'm running a video that I took of a swarm hive, actually a swarm that moved in. And I'm going to talk about today about how do bees pick boxes when they swarm, because this is bizarre. So this hive is sitting on the ground, had a swarm in it a year ago, died this past winter. The swarm had originally lived there for 2 years. But what's crazy about this box is it's got a deep on the first, and above it has a medium. But it wasn't aligned properly. And so the front has a sort of, you'll see the space, and the bees have actually chewed away a bit. And the side also wasn't aligned properly. So all that rain and stuff could happen, but they still picked this box. The box is also on the ground. It's on some wood, but very close to the ground, unlike all the other possible places the bees could have come to stay. Now, there's a lot of questions here. For example, where did these bees come from? The one hive that we had, I was pretty sure had gone, it certainly did not make it. So we had no bees from last year available. There are no new hives on the farm, although I did order a couple of local nukes that I'm supposed to pick up, but they're not brought in. They're queens that have come from stock that is here in Ontario, so that's good news. But so when I saw this, I thought, okay, here's a couple of things I got to think about. Well, I have one other possible swarm in a log hive, but I'm very skeptical about that because if it's a swarm, I think it probably is queenless. Now, as I watch this video, and if you're on YouTube, you can watch it at the Hobby Beekeeping site, you'll see the bees coming in with pollen. I'm pretty close up because I want to get a good look at these bees. And so with the amount of pollen coming in and the bees working away to clean the place, it sure looks like they've moved in. There's a queen because they are bringing in pollen. Most of the time, that's what happens. I don't know how long the swarm has been here because we haven't had an entrance camera on it. We have had a temperature sensor I had on this one, but it ran out of juice, so we weren't able to indicate when, in fact, this swarm did come in. Now, as an update on the farm, it's extremely packed with all kinds of flowers. We have clovers, we have foxglove. We have all kinds of really incredible flowers happening right now. So these bees are lucky. They're the only beehive, I think, that's functioning on the farm right now. So my question goes back to why this spot? Well, first of all, there was a swarm there. And maybe, there's something about swarms coming back to the same place. Maybe they left a marker. Obviously, there's existing comb, which makes sense. So that's all part of it. I didn't put any lemongrass on this one either. So the shade of the bees doesn't tell you much, although they look almost carny-like, but that's makes no sense because of the number of donors the queen has for when she's at the drone congregation area. So there's no idea. Now, so I had a lot of questions today. So the first question was, well, because it's a split and it looks healthy, it's a swarm and it looks healthy, should I, in fact, split it? So a couple of things. In watching the entrance, it's obvious there are no drones coming out yet, so it's probably a relatively new swarm. I would think probably the past 2 weeks. Secondly, I start messing around with a split. Couple issues. One, do I want to be doing that as a philosophy? I don't know anymore. Two, obviously it'd be helpful. I could maybe help them if I could somehow just align the medium with the deep beneath it and, give it a little more protection from robbers and, weather and all those things. Or do I split it? And I thought about it all day. And then in the afternoon, I thought, well, I'll get my smoker, I'll go in. And all I'm going to do is align this up, which I did. So there's a very small entrance left at the top where this is between the deep at the bottom and the medium at the top. They still have the bottom. They were coming in the bottom anyway. They were actually using two entrances. But this way it's tighter and they can actually use propolis and probably seal the little tiny top entrance if they want. I hope I didn't alter it too much so that they get bummed out and leave. So I did that. So I'll keep an eye on those. And then the other question is, do I treat them? And my instincts tell me yes. I don't know where they came from. They could actually have been from somebody could have bees somewhere and they just swarm. But it's I don't know. Something about these bees. They were very vigilant when I came around to pop this camera on. The guards came out and visited right away. So they're not just because they were from a swarm, which makes them vulnerable. I think they're a little itchy, if you will. When I used some smoke to move and align the top to bottom, however, there was no crazy behavior. They didn't all come out and attack me. But it doesn't really help me understand, what I should be doing next. And I think I'm going to go ahead and just, I did go ahead and align it up and left them alone. I added some more wool in the top to make sure they were, had the insulation they needed, and I'll keep track and just watch what happens. So they're probably, if they're going to swarm, it'll be too late again. So they'll hopefully build this up, and then the only question I'll have is in July when I add the oxalic slow release to the two nukes I'm getting that by then will be placed into larger boxes. Do I do the same with this one? And my instincts tell me I should give them a chance to also continue on, even though they may not need the assistance. Now, as I watch these bees, I see a lot of older bees, obviously. Some younger as well. They probably joined in the swarming. And even though this is only one spot, there are a number of places where the bees could be coming in and out, including the bottom entrance. There's a fair number of bees coming and going. It's well regulated. They are working on things. And so my current plan is I really don't know what I'm going to do with the oxalic. You probably have an idea. I also think it's kind of cool to run this video while I'm doing the podcast this week. If you have any questions, you can just go to the Hobby Beekeeping YouTube channel. Please subscribe because that helps us. And you can watch this video and comment if you'd like. I believe I turned comments on. I hope I did. It's just the gap seemed just way too large for me. There are some older bees here, and I even detect there may have been some robber bees in this group, although there's nothing to rob on the farm. They can just go and take it. But I think it looks like there's been a bit of that from the history of these bees. So I have a feeling, I'm starting to think maybe they came from an apiary, so I'm going to probably lean towards the 2-month oxalic slow release once they get established in July. On the other side, I'm just not sure how many swarm boxes to leave out because we don't want late swarms. If they happen, they rarely survive anyway. But I think I'll leave them out. Most of them have mouse guards on them, and let nature sort of process them. I do think as I get into the data, as we get into the cold weather, there'll be the usual reasons the hives didn't make it, plus a few others that I'll talk about, which will help me understand. But I think I have to learn from last year, and these guys probably need a bit of a boost with this oxalic. And out in Nova Scotia, I think I'm going to go ahead with the thymol version that also in research has shown to provide assistance to bees with a number of other diseases just to keep them healthy. So this is Hank for Hobby Beekeeping. I hope you're having a great time with your bees. It sure was fun to go out and see this hive actually, and watch what you're doing, what they're doing, and take advantage of the resources that are on the farm. You have a great week, and we'll talk soon.